Hey you guys, what's up? Shadowlands back for another commentary. Actually, today it's more of a rant. This is not a rehearsed thing at all. This is just something I wanted to get off my chest because it's really been something that's been on my mind for a while, especially when I look at a lot of my friends trying to transfer colleges and stuff. This is something called affirmative action. Basically what it is, if you don't know, is it targets minorities and people who otherwise might not be able to get into a certain college, or I guess it really kind of is applicable just about anything, whether it's a job or anything, but this is very specific to college, what I'm talking about. It gives advantages to them that they would otherwise not have. Now, don't get me wrong, I agree with the basic idea of, oh, we need to help out minorities and get them into better positions so that they can be better for their families in the future. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I definitely agree in a well-educated society and a well-taken care of society, but I don't agree with the way that we're doing it. This is what really grinds my gears. It's not that I don't value the diversity, don't get me wrong there, but if you admit a truly underqualified student based on something other than viable credentials, then they're far more likely to fail than a person who actually met the bare minimums. What's happening, guys, is that colleges are taking, let's say for example, you are race 1 and there is race 2. Race 1 is the one that consists 90% of the school and they get in viably. Well, race 2 does not, and they basically need help getting in because of their race. That's what the college is saying, and I'm saying that legitimately. That's basically what it is. And they'll say, oh, well, we're going to lower the bar for you guys, and then we're going to admit you to this school where a bunch of other students have set the bar super high, and we're not going to make the school easier for you, we're just going to make it easier for you to get in. Well, I agree with the idea of let's get them into college. Yes, that's the right idea. But allowing students that don't make the bare minimum of any sort into a school where the minimums are so high they can't actually reach that, you are setting them up to fail. And it's actually a big problem. A lot of students fail out because of that, especially ones that have to go through affirmative action. Now, a lot of students will also go to a college and be like, oh, I'm here now, and then they'll fail out because they either party too much or the school really was too hard for them and they have to transfer or wait another year or something, go to a community college for a year, and that's totally fine. But it's when the government and the people running the colleges set this up so that students can just get fucked because they can't actually graduate. They can't do anything at the college they go to, and they're not going to succeed in the future, which is what the main idea of this affirmative action thing is, but they're not doing it the right way. What they should help them do is help them find a college and get them funded for a college where they can succeed, not one where they're going to get screwed over by the college being too difficult for them, or the courses that they're trying to take be too difficult for them. Anyway, continuing, in reality, all it does is hurt our system and our standards, and even our students who could better benefit by starting at a lower level than that they can work at, and later work their way up. So basically what I'm saying there is, if you're going to admit these students, yes, okay, let's say you go ahead and do it, which we have been doing, then you're going to admit them, they're going to do poorly, it's going to reflect poorly on the school because it lowers all the averages, it lowers everything like that, and on top of that, if you think about it, the reason that they're on affirmative action, part of it is because of their ethnicity. Actually, that is like 90% of the reason. And other minority problems like that, like, oh, you don't fit into this category, so we're putting you on affirmative action. It also makes it so they have to pay more. By definition, if you are on affirmative action, it almost always means that you don't have enough money to pay for it entirely yourself. That's part of what affirmative action is. It's getting you more money so that you can go to college, not only getting you into college. But if you can't pay the full tuition, and they're giving you these massive scholarships, and they're not giving these massive scholarships to people who are meeting the minimums but still can't afford college just because they're a different race, that means that they are like, they're getting shot in the ass. Basically, you're saying you're going to admit someone who can't pay full price, you're going to give them tons of scholarships, and not admit someone who either can actually pay full or still can't pay full, but they're like actually meeting the bare minimums and sometimes even going far and above that. But what you're doing also that a lot of people don't realize is that the reason college is so expensive these days isn't because you're paying for your tuition. You're paying for somebody else's tuition and a small portion of your own. So when someone gives a guy a ton of scholarships or something based on that because they can't pay or all this financial aid, the reason that, well, let me rephrase that. Financial aid through the college, not necessarily the federal stuff, that's something different. But if you're giving someone financial aid through the college and then you're asking someone else to pay a ton of stuff. That's kind of a problem right now. You're seeing something similar with the UC system right now, the University of California system. What they're doing is they are not admitting a lot of California students, which is a big problem I had. I wasn't able to get into a lot of the UCs. I didn't get into many of them at all when I was first applying to them. But what ended up happening was I didn't get in, and neither did a bunch of my friends. So I thought that was very strange, because actually a lot of my friends were smarter than me. And I was like, how did you not get in here? You definitely should have. Well, my mom explained it to me. She's actually one of the accounting professors that kind of leads the whole UC system. So she explained it to me. And she said basically what's happening is something similar to affirmative action. It's not the same thing actually, but it's very similar. The UC system is running low on money, so they're going to admit fewer California students who wouldn't end up paying. They're in-state, so they wouldn't end up paying the full tuition. They would not accept the students who they give discounts to, and instead bring over a bunch of students from other countries, specifically like China and some other Asian countries over there, because they will pay full price to come over here. And even if they fail or do whatever, if they fail, they succeed no matter what they do, they're getting full tuition from these students and not full tuition from the California students. So to make up for the money that they spent, they didn't spend very well, to be honest. If you look at what they've spent their money on in the past 10 years, not a bunch of smart stuff. So overall, they kind of screwed themselves, and now they're in this hole where they can't accept their own students. They have to accept people from outside of the country or outside of the state at least, so that they can go ahead and say, we need the full amount of money you can pay. So there's that. Anyway, that was a little bit of an example, but going back to what actual affirmative action is, if you give full ride scholarships in addition to being admitted to the school, you're forcing other students who get admitted based on merit to pay more to cover the cost of those who can't. That is a part of affirmative action, which is why I gave that analogy. It's really, if you think about it at its base level, it's just another form of taxation that we really don't need. You can't describe it other than educational poison. It's absolute poison. It hurts everyone, even the people it's meant to help. So you're basically saying, we're going to screw over the people that we allow into our colleges because they are not ready for this yet. They're not like at the educational level to be there, the academic level to be there yet. They need to go study and learn a few more English is just kind of tripping over my tongue right now. At other schools, they need to either go do community college for a couple of years, or at least be admitted and funded to go to a different school that would be more at their level. Not just so that we can like say, oh, you're not going to a higher level college. We can say that you're actually learning something and you will benefit society and yourself and your family and just about everyone, including yourself, more because you went and learned better. You actually learned harder, if you want to put it that way. You learned better at this other college than you would have just trying to like decipher hieroglyphs in a calculus textbook at this much higher level school. So it's really just, what are you looking at? Why do we have this affirmative action thing? I understand the reasoning behind it, but it doesn't work, and there needs to be a change in this system. Anyway, guys, please rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Shadowlance out.
Counter-terrorists win.